196 countries, 250 flights, 5 passports, and thousands of dollars. Needless to say, this was one heck of a trip. Connecticut native Cassie De Pecol quit her job in 2012 and later set out on a mission to visit every country on Earth. And in February, she officially succeeded after Guinness World Records confirmed that she had toured the planet faster than anyone before. We spoke to Cassie when she was halfway through her trip in November, and she joins me today from New York to discuss what it's like to finally be finished. Good morning and congratulations, Cassie.
Morning. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Cassie, when you travel Asia, Europe, the Americas, Africa, when you do it all so quickly, is it all a blur or does anything stand out?
A lot of moments do stand out, specifically the ones where I met with the university students. Most recently was in Turkmenistan, so that was really special. But of course, I try to do at least one thing in each one of these countries, speak to one person or do one activity, but meeting with the students was the most important for me, and that was the most meaningful as well.
Cassie, with so many countries, some of them aren't going to be the nicest. They're not going to be the friendliest. North Korea, Somalia, Syria, you had to go visit those as well in order to get your record. At any point on your trip, did you feel unsafe?
In Central and Western Africa, there were a couple moments, but not generally speaking, I felt pretty safe everywhere. I mean, as a woman traveling alone, I wasn't sure I was going to make it out alive when I initially took off, just because of all the negativity you hear traveling alone as a woman. But I actually experienced like true kindness from so many people around the world, and I really found comfort in the unknown and safety as well.
You know, one of the things that stands out about your story is that you completed the tour as an ambassador for the International Institute of Peace through Tourism. A lot of people don't know what that means. Could you clarify for us?
Yeah, so my goal was to promote peace through tourism, and I did this by meeting with ministers of tourism and mayors of cities around the world, and I delivered to them the IIPT Credo of the Peaceful Traveler, or the Declaration of Peace. And this would be done in front of the university students as well to signify kind of friendship and unity among nations. And then I'd also talk to the university students and about the Global Peace Index, how we can actually quantify peace through a series of statistical data, how to promote peace through sustainable hospitality. So there's kind of it was a big project, but it was really cool to focus on peace through tourism on this expedition.
Planning a trip around the world is one thing. Planning it with a stopwatch is a completely different thing. Talk to us about what went into your itinerary. How did you plan this thing?
I pretty much planned as much as I could in the year and a half before I took off, but when it came down to it, I had to plan pretty much the day before or the day of I was supposed to be somewhere, and I did all the planning on my own, so as you can imagine, it became pretty difficult at times trying to manage hotels, flights, buses, trains, everything in between. But yeah, I'd pretty much use a few sites that were really helpful in planning the expedition throughout just pretty much the day before or the day of.
Were there ever days where you didn't think you would be able to make it to get the record, and at what point did you say to yourself, I think I am going to get that record?
Yeah, I was pretty sleep deprived the whole expedition. I would go anywhere from 24 to 68 hours without sleeping, and that really affects your mindset. So in those times, I'd be like, you know what, I need to just spend 2 weeks somewhere, and then I thought, you know what, I can't. Guinness wouldn't allow me to spend more than 14 days in a country, or anyone going after the record for that matter. So yeah, it was really tough, but I think once I actually, I didn't know I was going to finish until I finished in the last country because it was Yemen. So I can't even say that I was confident I was going to finish up until the very last country. So
you were, in 2012, you were in the corporate world, and you become a world traveler. Could you ever see yourself going back to that world, or are you done with it? You are now a citizen of the world.
Yeah, I'm done. Now I gotta focus on my own projects, on continuing to change the world, and kind of that entrepreneurial mindset to kind of focus on. Yeah, so definitely no more corporate world for me.
What are some of the ideas germinating in your head? You must. I mean, I have to think that there's a travel log that's coming for us to sort of see this through your eyes.
Yeah, well, I'm writing a memoir, a book, and also I'm filming an educational documentary. I'm wrapping up that documentary this year, and then I'm also starting a nonprofit, a seminar actually, to help people try to find funding for their own projects. That starts in June, and there's so many more projects as well. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Expedition 196's Chief Explorer Cassie De Pecol, thank you for being here. Congratulations. Can't wait to see what you do next.